Hey everybody, what's going on?
Mm.
I clicked the button a little bit faster than I planned on, and I was still counting down like we're going live.
Man.
3, 2, we're here. Happy Monday, homie. How's it going, dude?
It was a delightful weekend. Delightful weekend. We had Mother's Day. I had a claim sale. Usual jazz. We're looking good over here. Looking good.
Oh, speaking of looking good, everybody, we are almost to 1,000 subscribers. So if this is your first time seeing us and you're not already, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're so close, y'all. And it's just been a few short months. We couldn't have done it without you. So please help us get there. If you haven't already, drop us a sub. We're getting so close. La Cruces, GT, how's it going, guys? Thomas, thank you guys for joining tonight.
Appreciate you.
We've got a couple of interesting pieces of conversation that were some were started before, some we've wanted to talk about for a while, but we wanted to kind of get more research going, but at the same time too, there's definitely some hot topics to talk about going around the community right now.
A little bit of comics, a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of everything tonight, like usual, man. So, hey, how's it going, Blue? Oh, stand it up.
Look at all the
Genghis
homies.
freaking Sean. Man, talk about a roll deep cut as far as guys go. Well, I think I should probably roll tape. Is that what you're saying, Theo? Let's get it going. All right, let's get it going. Oh, and we're back.
That looks better every week.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, all the time. Good shout out to our good friend Posh. Thank you always for our intros as usual. My friend, thank you so much. Mighty Mike, welcome.
Hey,
it's such a beautiful night, dude. It's getting warm out. I live up here in Michigan, so it was a sunny, nice, consistent 70s day. Like this is kind of the reason why I chose Michigan, because it gets into the 80s occasionally, a 90 day or something like that in the heat of summer. So It's like one of those
chill. He's on contract. That's a done deal.
Sorry, he's ours. Get too close, we'll cut you, bro. I don't have a problem doing it. Theo, we've got a couple of topics to cover tonight. Why don't you kick us off with where we should start first?
I think we should touch base on the writer's strike, personally.
Because that might be the shortest one.
Last week, it's still going on now. It's still impacting stuff. I mean, the last time, honestly, the last article I saw was that Blade was now pretty much a no-go.
Well, they even stopped production on Daredevil because they can only get so far into it, right? So, speaking of comics, but Last of Us Part 2, there's a lot of people in the comic fam that love Last of Us. Last of Us Part 2 is officially, everything going on. Yeah, right now that's toast. They can't go any farther on that. We've got Stranger Things, the final season. You've got people that this is killing a lot of things, and it's really going to be affecting mostly the smaller streaming services. I mean, yes, it's going to definitely
those other properties. It's probably going to affect the second season of Wednesday.
Probably. Oh yeah, yep, yeah. Wednesday is going to affect, honestly, everything that's not already done. And Disney was cutthroat too. Like, hey, you're here, show up. We're making movies and TV shows. And those guys walked out on it too, and that was the main thing too. Like the showrunners for Daredevil, they walked out. Prop Greg, how you doing, homie? I tell you what, this guy is probably one of the most crazy engineers when it comes to YouTube channels. If you don't know who Propway is, you're not paying attention.
Oh, that's the account.
Yeah,
he makes all the cool Iron Man and Batman stuff.
Dude, he does freaking everything, man.
I see you, sir.
Greg is, and I live so close to him in Chicago, and every time I'm out there, he's gone. He's out. He's out doing something else. He's either on Family Feud talking about girls sitting on his face, or he's, he's, he's that guy. It's like, what would you ask your girlfriend to sit on? And he goes, my face.
It's probably the best answer, honestly.
Honestly, 100%. But if you don't know Greg, definitely check him out. He's hilarious. Yeah, it's one of these days I'm going to catch him in Chicago, and I'm going to get to see all the crazy stuff he makes, because he's so much cool stuff.
I remember when Kurt was in Smallville during the writing.
Yes.
Actually, I don't remember. No,
yeah. The Smallville got hit pretty hard with it. But at the same time too, for those that do remember, that was also when the Borg invaded on Star Trek, and it got a much better story and season because of that. And it wasn't being rushed along. They had a lot more time to think about it. So there are good things that can come from it, because these writers aren't stupid. They're on strike, but that doesn't mean that they're not kind of working in their head to be able to come back and hit the ground running when they get what they want. Right. They are still coming up with ideas. They are still putting stuff together. And my only and biggest concern though right now, and it's not really a bad thing, I think, either, because there's a lot of streaming services. There's tons of streaming services right now.
Right.
But anybody that's not in the top four, the big four, which are Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, and who am I forgetting? HBO Max. They're all in danger. Paramount's already basically belly up. Peacock's in tons of trouble too. So there's lots of new programming happening on those channels. And the question is, where does that go when those streaming services go under? Do they merge into bigger ones? Do they get bought out? And all of a sudden we get Paramount content on Hulu? So, I mean, I think it might be good for the subscriber, but I think it's going to be a
recent update where I'm pretty sure Hulu and Disney Plus are about to do a merger.
Yeah. So that was a great story we saw. At least I saw from our friend Reggie. He was talking about how Hulu and Disney were going to really kind of merger into one, even though they lost a lot of contracts in Disney Plus lost so many contracts, but it was in India because Disney Plus lost the contracts with cricket, right? So all the cricket games that they were getting to see in India, which is huge in India, that is national time.
That's like soccer in Europe.
Football.
Sorry. Hey, I'm in America right now. Can you blame me?
But you're not wrong. It was originally called soccer in Britain, right? They called it soccer in Great Britain before they called it football, but football was synonymous throughout the rest of the world. So yeah, it's a little bit of knowledge to drop on you there. It was actually soccer first in the United Kingdom before it was football.
Daywalker, Desired, Kamikaze. How are you guys? Appreciate it.
So many great people in here tonight, guys. Thank you so much again, like usual. But yeah, the writer's strike. I mean, guys, is there anybody in the chat? Are you guys concerned about any of these things? Are you guys concerned about, any of these particular smaller streamers maybe going under? I mean, we know Amazon Prime's going to get affected by this, but Amazon's got Amazon money to rely on, right? But Paramount, Peacock, I mean, even things like Crunchyroll, we greenlit another season of My Hero Academia, but will it get finished and written for, being converted over into that anime side? What does this mean for a lot of our content? It's a question. So
honestly, I'm most upset about the Blade, to be honest. To me, that's the one I'm like, okay, it's just a matter of time before this guy walks away.
I am concerned about Marshala walking away, but I think he's too invested in the project in general to walk away per se. My biggest concern, well, actually, you know what? I take it back. I'm hopeful that this means it's going to be a better Blade. Because like I said, these writers aren't stupid. Even though they're on strike and they're not doing the work right now, they're still doing the work in their heads. And I would wager all the tea all the tea there is that they're coming up hopefully with a better plan for Blade than what we had been concerned about in the past. So I'm hopeful that that's some of the stuff that comes from it, because they do say that usually some things do get better, but it's the series based shows that usually suffer the most. And unfortunately, that's the major money and revenue stream for these streaming services.
At the
It's
same
not the
time,
movie.
though, I'm afraid it's going to turn into like a Black Widow, where it's like movie should have came out 2 years ago, and when we get it, it's just not going to make sense. They're gonna force fit it in, and we're going to be like, wow, where was this?
Yeah.
Better late than never, I guess, right?
It's crazy. It is crazy. But I mean, the truth is though too, everything that is on pause, right? So the biggest thing we're going to have in far as things go with Marvel is a gap. Now the good news is for all the DC fans, this shouldn't really do too much. We're still trying to figure out the stories that are being written. It might delay things a little bit, but I mean, we were never close to principal photography on any of those projects, not even remotely close. So they're still all in safe zones. They're just being storyboarded. They're not being actually written, right? We're just getting the loose outlines done. And that's by Gunn and others. So, that's not going to see much delays. I think the biggest impacts are going to be DC, Star Wars, not DC, excuse me, Marvel, Star Wars, and the other kinds of content we enjoy, like Last of Us, like Stranger Things. I like both of those projects quite a bit.
So before we address Mighty Mike's comment, because I've actually talked to a few people about this, and I'm glad he mentioned it because I want to talk about this on the mic. I have a feeling, would this affect properties like Mario?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Anything that's being written, and scripted. The only thing that doesn't affect is reality television. Reality television was what.
Oh gosh, let's not go back to reality.
I know, but that's like why MTV went full reality TV. That's why, like, that original writers' strike that we got back there in the 90s, that was when Survivor and Big Brother and all these things came out, was due to the writer's strike. And that was the only original programming that channels could put on. So, I mean, if we can somehow get to reality TV, cool. But I hated reality TV. I blame reality TV for, the majority dumbing down of America.
Even when it was unscripted, it was scripted.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was baited, right?
It
was baited. It was baited 100%. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yes, that is when regular television went to hell. I agree with that 100%. And I do hope that this one doesn't last long. But at this time right now, man, they are still so far apart in conversations. What was the last one? 5 months. I mean, keep that in mind. If we thought we were getting Blade in spring of 23, which we weren't, but say, for example, we were, that means it's fall 23, 24, excuse me, things of that nature. So, everything these go back, it's gonna have a big detriment. Yeah. Indie low budget superhero movies all the way.
I do want to address this one. And as much as I would love a Terry McGinnis, I just don't see it, man. I really don't.
It was canceled.
Point to me, there's just no way they can do that now because they've already confirmed that they're going to be casting a new Batman. We're going to be getting the Court of Owls. We're going to be getting a Damian Wayne. I don't see a Terry McGinnis in there.
Well, and considering we're also keeping the Robert Pattinson version, plus we're going to have this older version with Damian, obviously. They can't have 3 Batmen going at the same time, even in an Elseworlds concept. They can't. They just, DC can't do it, and that's why James Gunn canceled it.
I think there's such a thing as too much Batman. That would be.
Honestly, I would have much rather had the Michael Keaton, Terry McGinnis that was on tap and being planned by DC. That was being planned. Michael Keaton was supposed to come back with this Flashpoint. And that's when they were going to see Michael Keaton's officially back with Batman Beyond, excuse me. and this Terry McGinnis version, and that was one of the first things killed by James when he went to DC. So while everybody's still super high on James Gunn, there you go.
I'm buying Paramount stock now. Hey, you know what?
Paramount dropped 50%. No, excuse me. It dropped 1/3 of its share price
You know what
in a
I would buy
single day.
actually? If I could pick one company to invest in movie-wise, production.
GameStop.
No. Illumination.
Yeah, because of the Marios.
They did the Mario. That was a trial, and they were testing it, right? And because they did so well, who you think is going to come out with the Zelda movie? The Star Fox, the Samus, the Pikachu crossovers. You see what I'm saying? The Captain Falcons.
Wasn't
and they left those properties out of the movie on purpose.
I thought I heard, and forgive me, but I do I heard that there was a newscast on Super Mario when the news was playing in the background, talking about Gru as this evil enemy. So is the question too, is the Illumination universe connected? Could we see not only minions in a Mario-esque kind of situation, but vice versa too? I mean, is this going to be a connected Illumination universe? And I would rather see the Smash Bros universe first and foremost, but if that's the case though, I mean, that's a lot of things
in the Mario movie. He had what was he playing? I think he was playing a specific game.
He was playing Kid Icarus.
He was playing Kid Icarus. On the back in his poster, he had a Star Fox poster.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there are Easter eggs for Smash Brothers all over the freaking place.
Yeah, I think there was even like a nod to F-Zero at some point in there too.
Yeah,
like
there was a nod to F-Zero. It's like, and they already know. It's almost like the Avengers, right? You let everybody have their individual movies.
Oh yeah.
And imagine they all come together like Smash Brothers. The minute you get Pikachu and Mario and Zelda and everybody in the same movie, bro.
Kirby would be good too. Kirby would be huge.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Kirby, I mean, dude, that's a done deal, dude. That's a done deal right there.
I would love to see Kirby just everybody into it.
Dare I say, they might give Endgame a run for its money.
You know,
there you go.
But we've discussed this. You know, movies that can involve the entire family are going to do better as we keep on overcomplicating our comic book movies. You know, we make them too complicated. They need too much homework. Kids won't understand what's going on. They get too dark, right? Like, you know, even Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you know, yes, most people had seen the first two, but this third one was pretty dark, right? The face getting ripped off, all the blood.
That's a good point. The stage where he fought Donkey Kong was a Smash Bros. Stage.
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable, but I think that those are the movies that could actually unseat the money that was spent on things like Endgame, right? It would be a Smash Bros. Because it's 100% all whole family, and it hits us in nostalgia too. Like, as adults, we'll be there.
Well, yeah, and I could take all my kids to go see. I mean, that's 5 movie tickets right there.
Yeah, versus each one of us going solo because nobody else in the family wants to go see it with us, right? You know, number one movie for one weekend. You know, versus
wanted to go see Avengers with us. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so in this case,
still to go see the Marvels, he's going to go because he knows he gets popcorn and Coke. But at the end of the day, he's like, when's the next Iron Man movie?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know when it is.
Right. Honestly, until it's totally recast, I don't want Robert Downey Jr. to come back in Secret Wars. I don't want any more. I don't want any more rehashing of the old guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dude. We're both very proud of our shirts this evening. But yeah, dude, the writer strike's definitely going to be causing some chaos. No pun intended to what it is we nomenclature here, but I don't see it ending. I over under right now. I bet this writer's strike is going to go on for 6 months. I believe it will be more than 6 months.
Now's the time to go get your sealed Smash Brother Nintendo 64 games before that stuff pops off, people. You heard it here. Okay. You heard it here. I need to start
question.
looking. I need to start looking.
What do you think? How long do you think this writer's strike will last?
End of the year.
You think so? It'll be more than six. So more than 6 months for you too.
I could see it like ending around Christmas.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be the question.
Yeah.
I mean, because a part of the problem too is AI writers.
That's what I'm saying. If it goes past that, they're just gonna find another way to say, okay, you know what? We don't need you. We'll just use, like you said, we'll use the computer. That's fine.
But you know, that's the crazy thing though too.
Yeah.
Like right
Yeah.
now, man, I've seen some people making content on YouTube using AI writing, and it's been
I gotta
better than
send
the
you the
movies we've
interview after
seen.
this. Chat GPT wrote the script for Spider-Man 4. There's a YouTube video on it with Tobey Maguire. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like it looks awesome. Him and MJ are married. It like links off of Spider-Man No Way Home. They have a daughter. She becomes Penny, like their daughter. Like, yo, dude, it looks
I saw
good.
ChatGPT rewrite the sequel trilogy to Star Wars, giving so much more background to John Boyega's character and about him actually being a Jedi as well, and him and Rey founding things together and working together, and him taking his PTSD as a stormtrooper and teaching like Rey restraint, and Rey's teaching him with her more like stronger powers in the Force. Like they're dude, it was amazing. That was a much better sequel series than what we got. I enjoyed the sequel series ish, but this one that I saw on Star Wars Theory was ridiculous. How much better it was. I won't lie. It was cool as heck. So yeah, I'm here for it.
If I was a writer right now, I wouldn't be on strike. Not with AI on the horizon. Just saying.
It's bound to happen, dude.
I don't want to go down the AI rabbit hole on this show because it's comics and chaos. But
you know what? Should we have AI write a show for us? Let's talk about that next week.
Chat, what do you think? Should we have
AI write our next show? I mean, I'm seeing content creators do it everywhere. Why can't we? I say, if anything, it's going to make a show easier for us.
Brandon, how far apart is what?
He's talking about the writer's strike. How far apart are they? There's no progress from what I've heard. There's been no progress. The questions are over the whole AI writers. It's about the what is it? This single job economy where you just kind of like pay by a gig economy. They want contracts back again because they've been getting paid by the actual episode as opposed to by the season. So they want to get back to that. So yeah. Oh, look at this guy. Finally decides to show up. I'll tell you what. And as soon as he's there, he's always complaining about everybody who's not, but he's still late to the party each time.
Always falling asleep.
Love you, Lexi.
Imagine.
Love you, bro. But yeah, so it's streaming rights. Obviously, yes, Legion, you're absolutely correct. I know Legion's actually been a little bit more high up on keeping everything together. Yeah, Genghis knows the sound effect. He's been there. Miss you, Sean. Can't wait to see you. I'm guessing it's San Diego, right, bro? Because that's going to be your backyard. But I think that's going to be the next closest. I love you too, homie. But no, yeah, that's really the long and short of it. I know there was some interesting conversation going around the community though, Theo, about about booby books. Let's be honest, right? Nudity in comics, the covers, the Pharaoh's Lounges, the zombie tramps, and I wouldn't necessarily say, well, I mean, like some people do versions of, but there's not usually as many, even with the Dynamite sides of Vampirella anymore, but it's all what kind of came from there, right? That pinup concept, that void of Playboy being no more. I feel like nudity in comics is kind of coming out a lot more. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Legion, I'm not sure if it's a thing, but it's definitely a thing. Yeah. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of a touchy subject, you know, because I know like I know myself personally, like I have there are children that buy from me, for example, on
Yeah.
Whatnot and Instagram. I know this past con that I was at in Vegas, I had the opportunity to wholesale buy some quote unquote booby books. And I had to be pretty selective on that. You know, like there have been, I'm sure if you guys haven't seen it, you could do a little bit of scrolling on Whatnot or Instagram. You'll see what we're talking about. And there's definitely an audience for it. That's number one.
Yes.
There's definitely an audience for it. There's also what I like to call like tasteful and tasteless,
I agree with that.
right? So I don't like to use the two words while we're live, but I kind of have to so you guys understand. It's kind of like the difference between what Playboy and Penthouse are. If any of you guys don't know that, you're a liar. I call you out on BS. But in the event that you don't, it's basically where where like a female or a male may be depicted as straight on, full on body nude, crotch out there. You see everything, every little detail. And then
Yeah.
there's maybe like an outfit, and then another image may be an outfit where a shirt's unbuttoning and you see a little bit of something. Or
Yeah.
maybe they're wearing a dress and the wind's blowing up, kind of like a Marilyn Monroe type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So there are, I want to say, tasteful and tasteless types of nudie books. But generally, they're pretty exposing.
Yeah.
But generally,
Yeah.
they're pretty exposing and kind of raunchy, you know?
I definitely believe that there is an audience 100%. And I do have friends that, sell those books. And I do have friends that, do work for those books. And I know that people need to make a living at the end of the day. I'm just not sure of, are they actual, are they actual comics sometimes? I mean, usually I'm seeing them right now with just, they're more like pinup art. They're more just like nude art. Cause I mean, at the end of the day,
So
most of
some
them,
of them are comics that they actually have a story, but the interior contents of the character, for the most part, they're just new the entire time,
yeah,
right? And I think that's where like we have to recognize that there is an audience for that. Ever since the golden age, I mean, there's bondage, there's women being tortured, molested, there's women being exposed. I mean, this stuff goes all the way back to then. I mean, you fast forward into the 60s and 70s, it was still prevalent. In the 80s and 90s, I want to say it kind of died down, but as anybody who grew up around old school Jim Lee art, or what was
G.
the other
Scott Campbell.
artist? J. Scott Campbell. I mean, women were still, and men for that part, were still being sexualized, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
for crying out loud. I mean, Godley just made a good point right there with the She-Hulk 40. She's almost new, but it's tasteful. You know, we had She-Hulk and Storm on like a Sports Illustrated, I believe it was Sienkiewicz
swimsuit edition thing.
magazine, swimsuit editions. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
So it's definitely there. It's been there since comics started. It wasn't until recently, and I want to say in like the 2000s, early 2000s, was probably the time when it was like least there.
Yeah,
Like, okay, you had your Spider Gwens with the tight outfit, or you had other characters that were pretty tight, right? But it wasn't
I-
like how it was in the 90s and 80s, and it definitely wasn't like how it is now.
no, no. I mean, you got like the Witchblades
I
in
mean, yeah, you
the
always
in the
had
90s,
Witchblade,
right?
you
And
always had
then
Vampirella, you always had Rose,
honestly, I think it's come out more since Whatnot. I've never seen it as prevalent as it is now until
Lady
Whatnot.
Death. Yeah.
I've never seen it. I mean, I knew that there was audiences, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that they're not allowed to sell on platforms. I'm not saying that at all. However, I have never seen as much of it as I am right now on the Whatnot platform specifically. I don't, it's still just as much as it ever was on Instagram, which is, if you want to post that stuff, you're going to get nuked. you know, you will be shadow banned. Instagram shadow bans the out of you. It just happens. Unless you have a pay for constant push on your account, it is going to stop you. You will not grow holistically and naturally on these platforms if you're posting that.
Yeah, Wooltree had, you know, one of the main covers, the John Jang cover.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Lottie Comics. That was done tastefully though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's coverage.
You saw
there's
her
coverage.
butt. No,
there's
you
coverage.
saw her bare butt.
Yeah. There's
But
coverage. 1 second.
You're good. But the way it was portrayed, right, guys, you can agree, it was pretty tasteful, right? There was some good artwork. There's a good story inside. And I think Phil makes a great point. You know, it was definitely become more prevalent in Whatnot. And I think that just speaks to the audience on there, right? I mean, you guys know I have a Whatnot show. A lot of you guys are seasoned in the comic books, but for the most part, the audience on Whatnot is kind of on the younger side, right? And we've all been young at certain points, right? I'm sure we can all agree how we looked and, you know, imagined women to be like. And that kind of goes hand in hand with why they're becoming so popular, quote unquote popular.
I think they're becoming popular on the streams, but I think what's also changed too are the facts that not only are they still being sold, just like they were always being sold, but now you have salespersons, right? Now you have an actual person up there with the book. And again, this
Legion,
it's not shade. It's
yeah,
not.
No, Legion, you're correct. And
yeah,
I'm very good friends with Melinda. She's a fantastic lady.
She is.
She's always been a supporter, always helps me when I need it. I do the same thing for her. But that, you know, she's definitely developed an audience, you know?
Yeah. And being a female, being able to sell those is helpful.
Well, and honestly, if you really look at it, being a female and selling that,
those are the most popular ones.
I mean, it takes a lot of guts, though, if you think about it, because, like you said, I'm sure she gets bullied. I'm sure she gets messages. You know,
we know she does. We know she does. We see it in other people's feeds. We know she does. And you know, credit to her and others that put up with that, because these are still, again, just people trying to make their way. But at the end of the day, you know, they're definitely some of the people that are able to popularize it better than others. Yeah, and it's the new generation of pervs. I wouldn't disagree. I remember the first time my mom, when I was homesick, picked up a couple of Gen 13s that I asked her to, and some Wildcats. And I remember her looking at me and like, I was really questioning picking up any of these books for you. And X-Men at the time too. So you've got like the
Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't on the Laura Croft side of things, but yes, I remember my mom like handing me the magazine. It was just like, I had to open these up to check first, but these are very interesting covers, Philip, you know, kind of situation. And I remember thinking to myself, but at the same time too, I don't remember thinking of it that way, but I could definitely tell, you know, when she brought that up, like, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I really like this book so much. Because the 90s weren't known for their writing. Let's be totally honest. Tim, don't even get me started on my girl. Tall redheads. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Don't act like you didn't have a crush on Rogue, for crying out loud.
Oh, everybody had a crush on Rogue. Yeah, anybody that read an X-Men comic, who was their favorite
didn't have a crush on Rogue?
If you didn't have a crush on Rogue, you weren't alive. It was ridiculous.
I mean, come on, Rabbit? Yo.
No, nothing compared. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more popularized than it was. Yeah, we're on the same page, brother. But I don't think it's going anywhere. And I don't have necessarily a problem with it being for I don't know. I don't think it's good for comics though. I won't lie. I
Well,
don't.
and look, Blue Lantern. I like that you said that because I was about to say that. I never really understood people talking down to them or bullying them for selling it.
Mhm.
If they don't like it, there are thousands of channels to turn to. Right? It's the same thing. We got one of my really good friends in comics. I consider him one of my best friends in comics, Jeff, Golden Age Guru. That man sells Golden Age books. A lot of the books that he sells has women tied up. It has Captain America punching Nazis in the face, coming to the rescue of a girl who's tied up with her boobs out as she's about to go down like a rafter of spikes at the end of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, at the end of the day, you got to understand too, like, it's art. We may not, not everybody may like that art, but there is an audience for it, just like the boob books.
And I think that, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's like Rule 43. If somebody likes it, somebody will make a porn for it. There's some kind of version of it everywhere. But in my mind, like for comic books, like recovering existing character comic books, I'm not here for it. I don't think that helps necessarily the comic book community. I don't think it helps put that in a great light. But at the end of the day, too, I do believe that it should have it should have some kind of door, just like we used to have at the video rental, right? Even at Family Video, there was that little room off on the side, adults only, whatever it may be. I feel like, and I know Melinda does, and she's very careful with what she does, and I applaud her for it. Making sure everybody knows this is
I wanted to mention that too, because I learned a little bit something from her, because like I said, in Vegas, I sold a few copies of some.
Yeah.
Granted, they weren't as exposing or as in your face as some of the other adult books, but in my show, before I did it, a week prior, I told people, hey, one of my shows in Vegas will have this. I will have it labeled. If you are under 18, please do not come to that. If you are offended by that, that won't be the show for you. It won't be something you can expect from me on the regular, but I'll make sure the show is labeled as such. I'll make sure you know that it's there, and it won't be a surprise to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's the one thing I like that she does. She says, like, adults night only.
Yes.
Or you won't see the naked girl as the thumbnail. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a way to go about it so you're not like, boom, shock factor.
Now I know you're supposed to be, you're not supposed to have a Whatnot account if you're not 18, right?
You're not supposed to be on Instagram if you're not 18, but hey, how that go? Look how that.
But at the end of the day, you're not supposed to have a Whatnot account. But like you said too, you've got kids that buy in your chats as well. Are these are those feeds like doored in any way, shape, or form? You're not still allowed in that little room. Right? I'm not. I'm so not. But that's just it. Like, right? Is there an additional, like, hey, before you join this, are you 18 or older? Is there anything like that?
There's no
there's no additional
no
on it.
No, you just go in.
So a lot of horny teenagers that get accounts made up by their parents to put in a credit card or something like that to be able to buy comics can just kind of hang out and
you know what? And I'm sure maybe one day my son might steal my card and do that, and I'll look in the mirror and say the same thing to myself. But shame on the parents.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on your kids. Look at what they're watching.
Oh no, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. At the end of the day, there's an audience, there's a sale. I feel like if they are art to their own book, cool. It's people recovering and selling it as something else, in A versus a B, right? Like I remember there was a controversy around the Wednesday Addams Feral Lounge concept, right? Where it was obviously Wednesday, a teenager, technically a freshman, sophomore high school scenario, right? And she was the cover, nude. However, the excuse was, but it was modeled on the actress that played Wednesday, who technically wasn't a teenager. There's lines, right? If you didn't have her hair in two braids on it, off on the side, like Wednesday Addams, and it was just a girl with black long hair, I would say you're right. But obviously, it was still modeled on what was a teenager, and I'm not sure I'm cool with that. I think that there's lines. I think that there
I would
needs to
agree with
be.
you on that.
I think that there are definitive lines, and I know that everybody wants to try and spin it when you're doing it, not to come off as that person, but at the end of the day, that's that character. The only reason why that person is so famous and breaking out the way in which they were is for playing this teenage character. Is I think that that's too far. I think that that's where it gives people like us that do like comics and people that see that kind of stuff out there, and they think to themselves, is this is this what you're into, Phil? Is this what you're into, Theo? Are these the kind of comics you collect? And no, they're not. They're not for me. They aren't. But at the end of the day, I believe that we need to kind of have some level of. I think that there needs to be some kind of door in these situations, just like I don't know, Theo. I don't know if there's a solution. I don't think there is a good solution. I think that they're going to
Like
exist.
credit to Whatnot, credit where credit's deserved. They've actually updated their policy now. So I believe if it's like completely, I don't know what the verbiage is. I'll have to look it up. But I believe if it's completely exposing, like completely, not like a little bit, but like full blown, you have to put some type of post-it note or like sticker or something on there now. I'm pretty sure.
It makes sense.
Now,
I
whether
mean, you
or not
have
they're
to.
enforcing that, or whether or not, like I said, I gotta look and see what the exact verbiage is. But they definitely address that.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I don't know as much about Whatnot because I don't use it as much. I'm going to buy a book from you. I just buy it from you. Just text you. But I have to. I just have to say, like, I support my friends, and I understand what they sell. I know what they do, and I love them, and I appreciate them, and I would just it's the teenager things that just kind of if me out. I have tons of J. Scott Campbell's one of my favorite artists. Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. Not necessarily nude creators, but definitely have the skin tight body type down fine. I have Vampirella books, totally do. Yeah, I do. I don't have the cosplay versions. I've got the drawn versions. I Lucio Perillo, right? Yeah, 100%. Big fan. It's that teenagey aspect to me that just kind of creeps me out. Or it's not even really that good. I've seen a lot of them out there where I just kind of look at them like, oh, I mean, really? was this the cover? I've seen some that just are an excuse to put one out there. Yeah, the Martha Stewart on an SI issue. Looking forward to it. I think for me, I think it was that Wednesday Addams thing that just kind of got me a little upset. That was the cover. That was, to me, that was just like, way to go, guys. You officially pushed it too far. And I get your excuse, but at the end of the day, that to me was when I was just like, I was all here for it and it was fine. But I've got a teenage kid. I can't imagine just because somebody can draw the face like they are doing right now with AI refacing and pornography and putting faces on other porn stars and things of that nature. That's very pervasive on the internet and very often being done with younger actresses to oh, but it's okay, but because it wasn't really the actress. Well, you put their face on it. It's a problem to me. That's a problem to me.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, I'm sure most people that are going to watch this, or most people in the chat, can agree. At the end of the day, the hobby will and forever should be about bringing the youth into the hobby.
Yes.
Because if they're not involved in this hobby will die.
Yep.
So, like you said, there has to be like a fine line somewhere.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't have its place. And not that I'm not saying that the people that collect those aren't collectors or that they don't love comics. I'm sure they do.
100%.
But there needs to be a line somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't. I agree 100%, man. I definitely, I know when I was doing an old show, some people in here may remember, but I was doing a show back in the day called Recasters, where we would sell new comic book day books. And I remember the owner would constantly say, "Hey guys, show these ones." And they were the movie books. And I would have to be like, "No, JT, no, I'm going to turn off the feed. No, move. We can't put this on Instagram. We can't put this on our show," because Instagram doesn't have that block, right? To say like, "Hey, we're doing that." But I knew we could also get banned for it too. So I know from a growth and social media standpoint, I know not to do that. But at the same time, that was because I knew kids were in our feed. So I didn't want to be in that precarious position of showing that off when there's that kind of scenario going on. If you want to do that, do it in a private chat. You know, that's my angle. But honestly, that's really all I have to say on the aspect.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the day, guys, make sure you buy what you love. Okay?
Yes.
Make sure you buy what you love. And you know what? There's no shame. If you like booby books, hey, you like booby books.
Okay. Listen, one of my daughter's first words was boobies. Okay. It was because she knew how much her dad liked them, hearing about it around the house. Okay. From it was true. Like honestly, funny story. I couldn't take her out to go shopping very often because Grandma would be like, Dad. I'd be like, "What, Gwen?" And she would just point, "Boobies." just random women walking by. Okay, so I was that dad pushing the cart down the aisle with his little adorable 2-year-old daughter, like, "Oh, look at this dad, he's doing things with his little girl, all that fun stuff." And she's going, dad, looking cute with her little pigtails and everything. She goes, dad, look, boobies. The worst part is I took her to my job. Okay, I took her to this job I had at this financial institution. And I got to introduce her to all my coworkers, and I had a supervisor who was a very large man, and kind of he kind of came over and he introduced himself to Gwen. He leaned over and said, nice to meet you, Gwen. And he turned around, he started kind of ambling away, and she goes, "Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, and insert name. "That boy, right?" Yeah. So and so's a boy. Why he have boobies? And the whole call center, pin drop, just silence. Blood drains from my face, and I see him kind of stop, but then get back to walking away. And I was just like, oh my God. And as soon as he was out of earshot, every single person that heard it in the entire place freaking fell out. Just fell out. And I was pretty sure that was at that point where I needed to look for a new job, and I went into healthcare. So it was perfect timing.
Wait, so Igor, I don't think I'm understanding the question. Did anyone X all the new Miller Wolverine cover? You know you are aware Wolverine fan. I mean, I am a Wolverine fan. I'm not sure though.
The new No, I haven't seen it. Have you?
No.
DM us, bro.
Yeah, DM me. Let me know.
If it's in your feed, let us know. Because if DM it to me on Instagram, and I'll pull it up right now and I'll
Oh, did
share it on
anyone
screen.
say? No, no, I haven't seen it.
No,
No. But if it's Miller and it's Wolverine, it's probably a banger. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to look for it now. So Theo, you talk, and
Oh,
I
so
will.
Frank Miller's doing a variant for Ghost Rider and Wolverine crossover series. Okay, yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Let's see
I was
here.
gonna say if it's Miller on Wolverine, wow, Luis, blasphemy. I don't know, man. I really like the artwork on the limited 4 series that he did.
Frank Miller, Wolverine.
I mean, I guess I can see where you're coming from though, compared to like all the other iterations of Wolverine. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the best, but not the worst.
Ugh, no, dude.
Oh, it's not good.
If this is it, if this is it, bro. Let me share my screen. Hold on a moment here. This is people reacting to it. Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance cover. Okay. So that being said, let me pull up my screen share here. Woof. Let's see here. I've got to okay it. I just got a brand new computer, so give me a second here. I apologize. And use my thumbprint. I say it's okay.
Oh, Doctor, mine hands down. It's either Len Wein or John Byrne, 100%.
Yeah.
No question. I might give it to John Byrne actually. Might give it to John.
Woof.
Dave Cockrum does some pretty good Wolverine too. Actually, I'll give Dave. Jim Lee does some pretty good. Honestly, Jim Lee's Wolverine is the Wolverine I fell in love with. As weird as that sounds, saying out loud.
I actually can't share my screen right now, not unless I cancel the feed. So I just open it up. But Theo, it's
is that bad?
I'm gonna drop it to you in chat real quick, and you can pull it up because I have a new laptop, and if I pull it up, I have to drop it. So
hey, that might be the point, Legion. Like maybe it's just that bad. You have to get it. You
know? It's bad, dude. I mean, I don't know.
Now that I'm really thinking about it, I might have to tip my hat to John Byrne, to be honest.
Theo, click on that link. I just dropped in chat. In our chat, the private chat, because it's fugly.
Let me see.
I mean, I don't. I.
Are we past the first 10 minutes where I can swear?
Yeah, we're past.
The fuck is that?
What the fuck was that?
What the hell is that?
That's hideous. I would trash, dude. I would not buy that book. Theo went off camera.
Look, dude, I'm like, that's it. We're done.
Yeah,
right?
Max.
We're done here. Okay, no, dude, no. That's Frank Miller. Get out of here,
bro. People react to the drawing. The drawing variant for covers as of
look at this. I should have even left. I leave my camera. Even my camera's like, what were you
Your
looking
camera
at?
doesn't even want you to be on screen for this.
Bro.
Yeah, Frank Miller achieving the impossible
right now. All right, let's switch cameras. I broke my camera, guys. Look at that. Like,
yeah, dude. Everybody, it's time for Frank to retire. This is the most horrific Wolverine cover ever created. Leave it to Frank Miller to achieve the impossible and make Wolverine look like trash.
Frank Miller, I still love you if you're watching this. But damn, bro. Yo, whoever has his back and said, yo, that's beautiful. You did a great job. You need to fire that man.
It says, I had the opportunity to show a little respect and honor Frank Miller when I got to work at Marvel. However, Frank just doesn't seem to care anymore. And his art concerning superheroes proves it. He does not care about superheroes anymore.
Dude, that's fucked.
That's terrible. I have never.
Dude, that's like a high schooler did it.
Dude, that's not even. I've seen high schoolers do way better than that. That's
Dude,
like
kid
that's
did
like
it.
middle school. That's middle school, bro. I feel like he gave this to one of his grandkids and just been like, "Hey, would you mind doing this for me?" It's atrocious.
And you know what? Brandon, I don't know about that. At this point, I would have rather had a Sin City style. Because no, Sin City's better than that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, dude. I'm not a
Bro.
fan. Yeah, check it. I'm gonna drop the link.
Dude,
Everybody
that
that cannot see it, here it is coming to you live right now. Check your chat. You can click it. You can go there. You can see what it
yeah,
looks like for yourself.
Wolverine. I think you're right, man. That has to be intentional. Because if it wasn't that bad, nobody would talk about it like the way we are and the way people have brought it up. No way, dude.
But does anybody think that they're gonna buy it? I mean, would you buy it? Would you just because you know this is his last superhero cover ever? Because maybe he's trying to get out of his contract with Marvel. You know, maybe this is it. Maybe they're just like, oh my god, I never should have signed that
That's a
5-year
good way
deal.
to say I quit. But if I knew that was going to be my last one with Marvel, I would try to make it the best thing ever made.
Right?
I'd go out with a bang, dude.
If you're gonna go out on top. Yeah, he might be leaving us soon. Get your signatures. Yeah.
I could do better.
Ozzy, you are not wrong, dude.
Bro, no, dude. Even as disgruntled as Todd McFarlane was with Marvel when he was leaving, he still left on a banger.
Yeah, he never let his art
He
suffer
wouldn't have done that, dude. No
for
way.
being angry.
No way.
It's like he was on acid.
Yeah, shame on the people hyping that up and too afraid to call what it is, man. And I have all the respect for Frank Miller. I've told everybody that's ever talked to me about comic books, like if it wasn't for Frank Miller, I wouldn't give two craps about Daredevil. Honestly, he's a legend. I still consider him a legend. But dude, go out when you're on top, dude. Do not just pump something just for the sake of pumping something, man.
Do you think he tried to do this on a computer?
Yeah,
and maybe this is just like
it makes me like angry and disappointed and like sad to look at that right now.
Because the claws are just triangles, right, with a little bit of red on top, pretending like maybe there's supposed to be a curve to it. Honestly, if you didn't know it was Wolverine, he had 3 diamonds on each of his hands.
I was gonna say, like, not throwing any shade here, but like, wink, wink. I think Rob Liefeld could have done a better job.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it weren't for the fact that there's feet, if it weren't for the fact that the feet look defined, it could have been.
I would have taken Rob Liefeld, no feet on Wolverine over this one right here.
Yeah, this is rough.
Yeah,
this is rough, dude.
Yeah, he quit quitting, dude. And he's only 66. I mean, I know he's only 66, but he is not in the best health right now,
No. But honestly, he hasn't looked like he was in the best health since he was in his 50s.
Right.
I'll be honest.
In person last year. I'm sorry, the year before. And even then he looked like he wasn't doing too hot,
He wasn't too happy.
I felt bad watching him do signatures and remarks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they were doing with Stan back before. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm not trying to be too hard on him right now, but dude, that's like I said, he's a legend. He'll always be a legend in my book. But fuck, dude, that's just hideous.
Yeah, not a fan. Sorry, guys. Anybody that's hyping that up, I get. I'm going to agree to disagree. Yeah, it looks like he did it on a Post-it note blindfolded.
In the dark.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate everybody's opinions.
If it ends up being a joke and he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. Here's the real one," man, you saved yourself. Man, you saved yourself, Frank.
Rash,
bro.
Question is, how do you think this book will this book actually? I agree, Wick. Do you think this book will actually sell?
Of course.
God.
There's so many diehard Frank Miller fans out there, you know.
Is I just can't imagine anybody legitimately putting this on their wall.
I mean, yeah,
This is good.
I mean,
This
for
is like,
example, I mean that's kind of like how I am with Stan Lee, right? So let's say Stan Lee came out with this one, and it was one of his last covers. I would still get it. You see what I'm saying? And if Miller is your Stan Lee, yeah, you're gonna get it, 100%.
I don't know. I like to try and remember some people when they still had respect and dignity, right? Before they started doing a bunch of trash.
And yeah, Doctor,
Comes,
he's a fantastic dude. He's super nice. I remember when I was at Torpedo Con, one of my first cons I went to with Skeleton Key Comics. Shout out Tony and Sam. We were staying at the same hotel as Frank Miller. We saw him in a lobby. He was sitting with his secretary. I remember this like it was yesterday. He was sitting with his secretary. He was sitting with his publicist, and he was sitting with some other lady. I don't know if it was his wife or somebody. But like we kind of wanted to like go up and talk to him, and like before we like could approach him, I believe it was his assistant. She came up and she was like, "No, no, no, you can't approach him right now. He's not working." And like when he looked over and saw like us, because like I was wearing an X-Men shirt. She was wearing like a Frank Miller Wolverine limited series shirt. Tony had on like a Usagi Yojimbo shirt. As soon as he saw us, he was like, "No, no, 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 fuck that. They can come over here." He got mad. He got up. He had a hard time walking over to us. He was like, "Hey, Frank Miller, nice to meet you." I'm like, "Oh, hey, Theodore. I'm a big fan." He's like,
gave him the real name.
"Yeah." I was like, "Hey, Theodore, I'm a big fan." And literally his first question was, "Oh, are you? Okay, what's your favorite thing of mine?" And I was like, "Well, I can't decide between your Wolverine limited series and Daredevil, but I probably have to go with Daredevil." And he's like, "I like you." He asked the same thing to Tony and Sam. They gave their answers. And then we ended up talking with the guy for like 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
He invited us to sit down. We had a cup of coffee. We were just talking comic books. He was talking about, how at the con, what he was doing, etc.
Yeah.
He was a super nice guy, dude. Super nice guy. I'm like, fuck, dude, this sucks. That thing fucking sucks, dude.
It's hard to see your heroes fall, right?
Bro.
And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling this cover. I feel like
No. I still don't believe that it's real, to be honest.
I don't.
And oh my god, did you scroll down? Are you looking at the other ones he contributed to for the Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and the Moon Knight? If you scroll down, look at those. Look at the Blade. Look at the Spider-Man and Loki. Like, what is happening right now? Did you look down past those?
Yeah, I'm looking at them.
Whoa.
No, number one, the Thing and Wolverine look almost identical.
Identical.
And honestly, then too, when you look at the Blade, it looks like he just again used the same shoulder and head stance, and then just kind of like mapped down a little bit more of a torso.
We can't share it.
I can't. No, if you can, cool. I can't.
Yeah, let me see if I
the
can.
Spider-Man's not bad, but I can't.
Where do I? Let me see.
Click on screen share at the bottom because
Yeah,
I've got a new laptop. It wants me to restart my instance, and I know I'll
okay.
lose the feed.
Okay. All right.
Here you go, guys.
Can you see that?
No, I can't see shit. You got to change the. Oh, let me change. You gotta share it at the bottom so I can see it. I can't see you sharing anything.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, the Spider-Man's not terrible. I won't lie, but yeah. I'm just gonna put up the picture and they can hear us talk through it, guys.
Okay, there it is.
There's Wolverine.
Man.
Not even words.
No, and if you guys look down below, like Phil said, it looks just like the Fantastic Four.
And when you look at the when you look at the Blade cover too, it looks like he's kind of rotated it again a little bit to the side with the shade and just.
And you're right. At least the Spider-Man, like
the Spider-Man looks like effort.
I can kind of accept the Spider-Man out of all of these, but man, does it still just.
And I'm guessing that's Elektra on the cover of Daredevil, but that looks like a remark, like I would get at a con, right? It looks like doesn't Elektra look like a remark on the Daredevil?
That looks like a remark. Yeah, I don't think it is though.
No, it's not. But that's the problem. It looks like Marvel just asked him to do all of these while he was at a con.
Man,
the Spider-Man looks legit. The Moon Knight's not bad. The Loki's not bad. I can deal with those three.
I was gonna say Spider-Man and Moon Knight. I can accept. Everything else is a hell no, dude.
Yeah.
No way, dude. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm gonna stop sharing this now. I'm done sharing this now.
It's rough.
Yeah. No,
I can't.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. CB approved them. Ugh, if CB approved these, yeah. And God bless CB, nice dude. It was. I remember walking out of the New York Comic-Con, and was walking there with Theo, and CB goes like, "Hey Phil," I'm like, "Oh shit, you remember my name?" It was cool as hell. But CB, bro, this one's a bit. This one's. I mean, but then again, too, right? Even if you're CB,
that was like Jackson.
Right? You're not wrong. Wow, dude, Blue Land. That's Ruben. That's freaking savage.
You are a savage, sir. You are a savage.
But yeah, that panel. But can you?
Right.
But can you send
we're
back
done
covers?
We're not talking about it.
But like, can you? How are there artists that you cannot send back covers on? Let's think of it that way too. Even from a Marvel perspective, right? How do you say, sorry, Frank, you got to redo this? We're not going to use that.
I would have. I don't care who it is. I'm sorry. Everybody can have an off day.
That Spider-Man's legit. I would be okay with that. I would get that.
No. It's not.
But that legit. But that would be how I could. If this was one of the last covers that he does, this would be the one I would want out of all of them.
The Spider-Man was the last cover. Okay, maybe.
This would be the one I would possibly consider getting.
The Wolverine is by far the worst one on there,
though. Yeah, 100%.
Dude.
There's some. Oh my gosh, there's a black and white version. Scroll down farther, dude. There's a black and white version of it too.
Oh, stop it.
Just with red.
Oh my goodness, dude. They even put the Wolverine 1 limited series from back in the day on there just to show what he used to do.
I know, right? But that's just it to me. That's the difference. What's going on, Vin? We're currently lamenting.
Yeah. I think Phil made a great point. It's like they couldn't even say no, you know?
I just, and granted, that's just me thinking out loud. That's just me thinking, because they said if CB approved this, and because I like the guy, I thought all of a sudden, like, okay, put myself in CB's shoes. I'm like, oh my God, could I tell Frank Miller, sorry, this ain't it. I mean, that's a lot of juice. That's a lot. I mean, Frank's got a lot of juice in the industry. So maybe CB was just
saying, dude, the Wolverine one is so iconic. I mean, the Ronin, the Sin City, the Dark Knight series. I mean, even the Spawn Batman he did with Todd McFarlane. I mean, there's just so many great Frank Miller covers, man. I'm just like, dude, fuck happened.
Yeah. This is concerning, bro. This is concerning.
He drew when he was 8 years old. Can you imagine if he did draw that when he was a kid? And it's like
that would be actually that'd actually be kind of
like,
cool.
We're getting his last artwork, and it's because it's like his child drawing, and we're here shit talking it this whole time.
If that is the case, I take it back.
If that's the case, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
I'll take it back.
I'm wrong. Yeah.
But I've got a feeling it's not. Yeah, good to see you too.
And guys, we're over an hour. I'm not sure how much longer we'll be going, but if you haven't subbed, make sure you sub. We're almost at 1,000. Okay, not to change topics, but I have to really quick. We are at the end of this month. I'll be in Michigan with Phil. We'll be doing the Fantastic collection, so that'll be on IG. Rage Theo, One True Nerd King. We'll have books from $5, I believe, to like all the way up to $100,000. So
if you think we're on a lot when we're together in the past, wait until Theo comes to Michigan. Okay. If you think we spend a lot of time streaming when we're around each other in general, shit's about to go off the rails for about 48 hours. So buckle up.
Smash the like button, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. I'm looking right now. We're at 956.
956. So we've gotten a few more.
We're 44 followers away, or subscribers, I should say. 44 subscribers.
So if you're new to the show, please drop us a sub. We appreciate it. And if you're catching us on Rewind, please drop us a sub. Even Mom, please subscribe. I appreciate it.
And we get to 1,000. We're doing a killer giveaway. Come on.
Yeah, we will be. But yes, it has been over an hour. Theo, I do think it is near retirement time for the show this evening. What parting words do we have for the night? We've got the writer's strike.
You just subscribed, you son of a bitch.
Damn it, Ozzy.
You too? Oh, come on, bro.
You guys suck.
You guys are killing me right now. You guys are killing me right now. How many times have I been saying this?
So close. You know what? Actually, what is it? The Comic Book Community YouTube Awards. Nominate us now for under 1,000. Okay, nominate us
best new channel.
Best new channel.
I'll take
for under 1,000. Somebody.
You know what, guys? I'm coming for the hair. Okay, I'm coming for the hair award.
I want a lot of different things, but I've got the tallest. He's got the longest. Mom already has. But yeah, it's 100% one of those things where if we were to be nominated, that'd be freaking dope, because I just love to see all the cool people in the community on YouTube getting the recognition that they do.
No. It's for the best hair. Okay. It's the best hair on YouTube. Okay?
We're going with John Wick, Neo. John Wick.
In our community,
Keanu, not Neo Keanu.
Not
okay.
All of
He's keeping his hair. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for always supporting. And best new channel or nude channel. How bad do you want that 1,000?
Hey, you guys got to pony up, okay? You guys
how many people will unsubscribe the minute Phil takes off his shirt? Just like, no, we will only subscribe when you put it back on. That honestly,
you know what?
That might be
I respect that comment too.
Prophet Alpha, you're not wrong. I am definitely a Miller fan, but boy, these covers aren't making me okay. So I can say safely, I have not bought a Marvel comic in a while. But I can say too, I'm not wanting to pick one up to have one of these covers, if that tells you anything, by bringing them back for it. So, yeah. But yeah, Comic Book Community Awards, check them out. If you feel so to nominate us, we would love it. We're definitely still near 1,000, so hopefully you nominate us when we're still in that position. But that would be a lot of fun. Oh, come on, Wolvie, I love you, bro. But yeah, dude, Yeah, you will see us a lot in Michigan. You're going to see us too next Monday as well. So I'll actually have some previews of some of the exact books that will be going up. So, check it out for sure, 100%. But that being said, Thea, what's going on this week for you, brother?
Well, Wednesday. What Now Wednesday? Same
Oh,
time
yeah.
every day.
You do that, don't you?
Same time every week. You already know. Friday, I actually have a claim sale on Instagram with Nerdy Girl Comics. I just had a claim sale a few days ago on Friday. It was a great time. So I'll be having another one this Friday. And then, I got one more Whatnot sale the following week, and then I'll be in Michigan. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. Over here, just making some new content. We're working on some new Star Wars content, working on some new indie content, trying to do some indie interviews. Got kind of going on throughout the week here and there where we can sneak them in to get some cool indie creators out to you guys. That's really pretty much it. I'm actually encouraging Terry Crews to write a comic book right now, because he is you guys are going to laugh, but he actually does a lot of sketch art. He's actually a trained artist, and that was what he was doing before he got into sports with things. And if you look at his page, he does lots of portraits and still life, and he does lots of drawing on his page. And I mentioned to him, like, hey, you're a writer, you are an artist, have you ever thought about doing a graphic novel? And he liked it. He responded, and he followed. So I'm going to use this opportunity to pitch Terry into becoming an indie comic book creator. So let's see if we can do it. But yeah,
anyway, it's not labeled as such, but yes, it is.
I would love to see him do President Camacho. President Camacho book. I would be 110% there for it, because it was the highlight of, you can ask Theo too. I like message him at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, dude, Terry Crews just followed me. Yeah, it happened live. So yeah, he's a great artist. I think it would be dope. And so I'm gonna be pitching him that in his DMs for a while now. He made the mistake of following me. Maybe that'll be a movement.
We're tagging him in everything now. Watch.
We're tagging him on everything. It's going to be like, how can we convince Terry Crews to create a comic? You know what? I'm actually going to make a reel about that tomorrow.
Guys, we need to get Terry Crews on Comics and Chaos.
I am actually, guys, I'm going to make a reel tomorrow, and I need everybody to help me out and mention him.
If Terry Crews comes on this channel, we're going to dance with that man live.
Oh my gosh, dude, the things that would happen. I tell you what, if we can,
and we got to play the special song. Making my way downtown,
walking fast, faces passing on home ground. Dude, all day. Absolutely. So guys, I will make a reel about that, asking him to,
if Terry Crews comes on, I will wear a shirt I don't care about so I can rip it with him. Yes.
Oh God. All day.
We will be his white chicks.
Oh yeah. I will 100% do it for him. I would 100%. So yeah, make sure you guys support that reel though.
I'll be his white chick. Yeah.
Mention Terry Crews, get his attention, make sure President Camacho knows the comic book community is ready for him to make a graphic novel. So let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Oh, dude. You know what's crazy? We're actually at our highest right now for the episode. Right now, right at the end, we're like trying to wrap it up, and everybody's all of a sudden just like, you know what? What the hell is this guy doing?
The ripping of the shirts and boob dancing. That's what
we were talking about, getting sexy men on the show with no shirts on all of a sudden, and it was just boom. But yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, chat. All right, we're gonna make a post tomorrow. Everybody support it, share it. Mention Terry Crews. Let's get some attention on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Until next time, chat. Until
next time, everybody. See you next Monday. See you this weekend. See you every day. Theo, as always, brother, it's a pleasure, man.
Here's
Good being a
looking at you,
friend.
kid.
See you later, everybody.